What we have right now, actually expecting a pretty steady rain throughout today here in Jacksonville at TIAA Bank Field. A few minutes prior to us coming on air, this crowd was jolted into action with the introduction of these Jaguars. They're set for football as the Jags are ready to match up with the New York Jets. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run here with a former Steeler. This is Le'Veon Bell. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Here we go, 50-50, Mike 50.
I don't even know why this team showed.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on 1st down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Darnold off the play fake to Bell. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Mike 51. Get the ball. Check 3.
They go with Leonard Fournette, 3rd-year bank from LSU. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage.
Allen hit. He lost the football. And it's a touchdown for the Jets. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And they've got to be still reeling from the events of a moment ago. What a turn on that last play.
You're knocking on the door. You're about to take it in. You think
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And it's a touchdown for the Jets. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Oh, I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So on now comes the Jets offense as they're going to go for 2 here.
22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber.
They'll try and run it in with Bell. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. And they turn the pick 6 into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalized a little bit on top.
At their own 25-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Check 50. Hello. Hey, exit.
Mike 51, Mike 51.
Pass.
Check tight end, check tight. Check tight.
So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. This is Jeff Swain, the tight end. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 54 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Now Allen. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And a very good return as he takes us all the way up to the 35-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. On 2nd down now, it's Bell. J-SMOOTH with a tackle.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing.
Here we go, D. Hey, it's just me and you. It's just me and you. It's just me and you. Hey, switch gears.
Oh, looked like they got someone to jump there. And if that's the case, this will be a 1st down. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
On 1st down, Darnold. Anunua's got it, complete. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Here's Darnold. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Robbie Anderson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Jets will extend their lead. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And it's now 21-0. Now after the touchdown, it's Lachlan Edwards to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
The throw on the quick slant going to be complete. And he's got some space here. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. DK Metcalf, his 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. This is taken at his 4. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
Let's go.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustmts.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Off of play action, Darnold. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
47 right. Mike 47. Here we go.
After the penalty, it's Bell. Shrugs him off. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
First down, Jets.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. A pretty wild first quarter. 21-7, our score. The Jets with the football here to start the second quarter as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
X3, 218, chop.
They'll run it with Bell. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. Bell, of course, 3-time 1,000-yard rusher. Sat out 2018, but you look back to 2017, a tick under 1,300 yards and almost 700 more receiving.
Check, 47. Watch the pass. He's checking crap.
On 2nd down, it's Bell. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. Actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that.
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off down at the 10. And the return will stop them well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Quinnen Williams coming right up the gut. Gets in there for a loss of 9. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Here's Allen to throw it. Looking long for Westbrook. This is caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. D.D. Westbrook with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are back within a single score. Extra point tacked on by Lambo, and they're back within a touchdown at 21-14. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Good enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Now a first down carry by Bell. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
From midfield now on 2nd down. Darnold, and a big loss here as he's taken down. Darnold and the Jets come up 3rd and long following the sack. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Third and long, it's Darnold. Flushed out, and a big loss here as he's taken down. Like a freight train off the edge, Calais Campbell with a sack.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
At their own 37-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Motion, motion, motion. Hey, hold on. 5.
Here's Allen. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Avery Williamson. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half. And you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest. We're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here. But he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
Now on 2nd and 13. Darnold. That one good for 26 and a first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Now it's Darnold. That's going to be caught. And he's going to take it in for a Jets touchdown. Quincy Enunwa, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Jets will extend their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This will be fielded at the 6.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
And getting our first update now from Nashville. And it's the Titans who are off to the early lead in that ball game. They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. Pro Bowler C.J. Mosley, the Ravens' leading tackler last year, up to make the stop. Allen off the play fake. That's into the hands of Westbrook over the middle. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. Boy, he ran free there after the catch as that winds up going for 38. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Throw right side of the tight end O'Shaughnessy. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. To the air, Allen. He's got Swain here as tight end outright. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Jets will bring in a nickel set here as they try to stop this 3rd down. And again, it's Allen. And he's going to be dropped back at the 15-yard line. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. So on 4th down, Jags kicker Josh Lambo comes on. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. The kick by Lambo is good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
To throw again on 2nd down, Darnold. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. Now, this will probably be the last play of the quarter. A final shot before the break, Darnold. He's going to look deep down the field. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
You ready? You ready? You ready?
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting.
He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Leonard Williams in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Allen. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Tremaine Johnson that time there to force the incompletion.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
That's taken at around the 40. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And this offense, they've got it set up on the silver platter. First and goal inside the 10. A very short field to work with now. First and goal after the great punt return. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Second and goal, the lone man in the backfield, Le'Veon Bell. After the run, now Darnold to throw. That's going to be caught by Crowder. It's a Jets touchdown. Jamison Crowder, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Jets will extend their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10.
Check safety, check safety. Check 99.
So the shotgun snap to Allen. The open man is Westbrook. And he gets this inside the 10 to the 9. It's also a gain of 9. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. A shotgun give to Fournette. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Leonard Fournette, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars make some inroads here on that deficit. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And that'll make this now an 11-point deficit. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. And once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Now they'll try the sweep with Bell. And some room to run now. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 16 yards, a first down. Successful toss play to the right there. It's interesting. Teams seem to run the toss a lot more to the right than to the left.
It's usually a little more natural. Right-handed quarterback, typically your power side running the ball is to the right side with your guard and your tackle. In college football, they used to call it student body right because you had everyone on that side, including a fullback leading. In the pros, they don't call it that, but it's still the same result.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6 at the 43-yard line.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Hey, check. Hey, Alpha. 50. Watch the slack. Watch the slack. Hey, look. Mike's 50. Hey, ladies. Man, I got that.
Back to throw, Darnold. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. J-SMOOTH. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Darnold and the Jets come up 3rd and long following the sack.
Let's go, defense.
Throwing here on 3rd down, Darnold. Open man is Anderson. Give him 30 yards there.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. Been an easy day for him.
Here's Darnold. On the catch, it's Crowder. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
A gain of 14.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
This is the running back, Powell. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Darnold. Now he's flushed out right. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down. This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Darnold from the gun. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Bell. And he'll be brought down shy of the 1st down marker at the 11. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up 4th down. Now to try the field goal, here's Daniel Carlson. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Daniel Carlson on for the field goal. A 28-yard.
Carlson able to put this one through. And that will get the lead up to 14. So they settle for just the 3. But clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off. But it's still 8 up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. To throw, it's Allen. Over the middle, that's caught by Metcalf. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. And that's going to be another 1st down as the tackle made at the Jets' 40.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few? And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Jamal Adams, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
Check. Undercut.
Throwing on 2nd down. Darnold. He's going to loft one deep. He's got a man. Complete. He's at the 40. The 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Robbie Anderson.